Well. Ireland, 23 points to 12 winners over my All Blacks. In my lifetime, I've gone from having Ireland as this team that we always beat to the team that can sometimes beat us, but not New Zealand, and now the team that has beaten us in New Zealand for the first time. 23 points to 12. We'll go through some key events, some stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on what you thought of this game. Another cracking start for Ireland, eh? Same as last week. But yeah, they managed to kind of push through a little bit longer this week, didn't they? Yeah, like I said, man, like Byrne with big carries, Hansen went close, kind of a calm but high-paced, intense start from the Irish. And with advantage, eventually Porter goes over. Tupaea can't stop him from going over. I don't blame him for that. Porter's a big unit. And 7 points to nil. And then the Irish do keep things calm, man. They're quite happy to keep pushing the All Blacks down in their own territory. James Lowe's boot is an effective weapon, and they use that very well, man. So, pretty good start, I would say. ABs have some kind of line-out failure. Sevu, Reece having to kind of rescue, by keeping a ball in from the touchline. It's a little bit of individual stuff where the Irish team is just really firing. Even Caelan Doris, who was pretty quiet last week, maybe had a little bit of pressure on him, still managed to keep Jack Conan on the bench. Like, he's winning penalties at the breakdown as the All Blacks are trying to carry out their own half. Gets a penalty. Sexton kicks that one. 10 points to nil lead pretty early for the Irish. We're not even a quarter hour into the game. On about a quarter of an hour, the All Blacks get their first of several cards in this game. Leicester Fainga'anuku, he's trying to jump to charge down old Mac Hansen, and he absolutely clatters into him. And if you guys watched any Super Rugby last year, you would have seen Caleb Clark do something very similar for my Blues. And in that game, Clark got a red because he was a little bit higher. He's got a bit more aerial power, and he ended up putting his knees into the guy he clattered into. Leicester's a little bit lower. I honestly think he could be a little bit lucky to get away with a yellow. I know people will say, but you can't change direction while you're in the air. I mean, I don't think that matters. The way I've seen it ref before, if you jump up, you better be sure you're not going to smash into someone when you come down. As far as I'm aware, that's the way they ref it. But someone correct me if I'm wrong. But either way, Leicester goes to the bin, only for 10. The All Blacks, though, they did manage to hold with their maul. And then, honestly, I thought the Irish, with the yellow card, didn't actually play that well. Like, with the yellow card advantage, I mean. Like, the All Blacks maul defence holds. That's kind of important, step number one. And then the Irish concede a penalty, which kind of gives the All Blacks a free exit. And then the Irish concede a line-out penalty. So not only are the All Blacks a man down, but they've just stopped the Irish attack and been given 2 penalties to kind of make their way out of their own territory and into Irish territory. The All Blacks weren't able to really push that much down the Irish end, but I mean, they were soon back down their own end. The 2 Barrett brothers that are backs showed a bit of calmness to kind of get at a dodge in their own end goal. So, but yeah, I didn't think the Irish at that point were kind of that close to scoring until Sexton's wee line break. I think he has about 2 carries in this game. But that one when he was going down the left was pretty effective. And Tuanga Fussy tackles a man without the ball. And he gets yellow carded for it too. So that's card number 2. And once again, I mean, the referees and whatnot said there was cover. The All Blacks, or the Sky New Zealand commentary team, thought there wasn't much of cover. And I'm inclined to agree with them. That could have been a penalty try. But they opt to go with the yellow card. I mean, that's 15 on 13, so you could still say, fair enough. The Irish go 11 phases with this 2-man advantage, and then they knock on. And then Porter gives away a scrum penalty. And I'm thinking, man, come on, Ireland. You got 2-man advantage. I'm still at this point thinking, New Zealand's going to come back. Don't worry about that. I'm not too worried about that at this point. We saw it last week, man. Ireland go out to a lead, New Zealand come back. That's fine. But, I was thinking, come on, guys, you need to take advantage. Like last week at Eden Park, Ireland, I didn't think took advantage of like the times when they had New Zealand under the pump to put on as many points as they could have. And this was maybe another example of that. And then Taukei'aho. Face-on-face clash with Gary Ringrose. And I've seen enough of those this year to know that those are pretty much always getting red carded. Some people don't like them because they say nobody intentionally tries to smash their face into someone else's face. But I mean, Ringrose goes off and he doesn't come back on. He could have, many weeks on the sideline for getting someone's face smashed into his face. So, Taukei'aho got red. As soon as I saw that replay, I was like, that's going to be red. So, All Blacks have had a couple of yellows and now a red. Ireland did turn the screws on. They opted for touch with the resulting penalty. They tried to maul it. The All Blacks were given pretty much like a yellow card warning that you could get another card if you guys keep infringing. That one was Taylor, lifting a leg at maul time. Scrums have to go uncontested, and the All Blacks make the call to send Savea off so they can bring a front rower on and Aidan Ross, and that decision's probably going to come back to haunt them a wee bit. But then, Ireland knock it on. James Lowe, it's a brutal one because they had so many extra players in the back line. And again, I'm thinking, man, as the pressure of the occasion getting to the Irish boys, you need to score here. You've got extra players. You've got New Zealand absolutely under the pump. You've got them where you want them. You need to execute. Mac Hansen does a wee chip and chase and ends up going out on the full. I'm like, you got extra players. You should be able to find the space without relying on kind of a bit of individual brilliance. But, not really able to convert. And then when the yellow card finishes, they want to bring Savea back on, but because he's gone off for the red, they can't bring him back on. So I think that's one that will kind of be smarting with the All Blacks coaching staff, and that'll maybe be a wee kind of lesson learned on which players to take off for whom, because Savea is probably, if not our best player, he's one of our best players. He's probably our best forward. So who else is better than him? I don't know. So not having him on is certainly brutal. Certainly no excuses, but yeah, ideally you would want Savea coming back on when the yellow card expires. Interestingly though, right before half-time, the All Blacks, 38 minutes, opt for some touch. They get advantage. James Ryan gets yellow carded for killing the ball. Oh, no, it was offside, wasn't it? Offside was the All Blacks did a quick tap and go, so kind of killing the play in an offside position. And, so it's 14 on 14. We got a tap. We got advantage again. We got tap. We got advantage again. New Zealand go 11 phases, and it looks like they are going to score, or have they knocked it on? The ball kind of spills out. Brodie's kind of put a foot to it, and he has scored. And unbelievably, I'm thinking somehow, despite the fact that the All Blacks have got a guy in the bin, Ireland have had all this advantage, not been able to score. The All Blacks go down the other end and pretty much first chance are able to pick up points. How very kind of All Blacks like. They TMO to check it that it wasn't a knock on, and indeed the ball just kind of spilled out. Brodie reacted with his feet and is able to go over for a try. So in All Blacks fashion, it goes into the break 10 points to 7. The All Blacks have had 24% territory in that first half. They've been under the pump. Ireland have conceded 8 turnovers though, which is a wee bit too high. But offensively, they've been the only team at the races. 2 clean breaks to 0, 7 clean breaks to 3. So did I say 7 clean breaks? 7 defenders beaten to 3. So it's been mostly about Ireland in that first half, but not that much of a points difference. I'm still kind of confident that the All Blacks, despite the fact they're a man down, they're going to do in Australia what they did last week, and somehow they're going to turn it around in the second half. Well, no. Retallick has to go off for an HIO, but he does pass it. Thankfully, there's Scotty Barrett getting a line-out steal. There's Reece getting a turnover one. The All Blacks are kind of hanging on. Ireland go 12 phases, though, on like 47 minutes. And big carries. Burn, big carry. Ardie, big carry. Like all the kind of key guys. A relentless attack, which you've kind of associate with this Irish side these days. And Porter powers over for a double. Who had money on Andrew Porter to score a double down in Dunedin? Not many, I would imagine. So, 17 points to 7. And I think that was all with James Ryan in the bin as well. So that was 14 on 14. The Irish score their second try. So, now I'm starting to think we might be in a little bit of trouble. The Irish tech keeps going forward with advantage, but they're not quite able to execute. James Lowe's pass is too big. But eventually I think they kind of realize, man, we can just win this game with threes. The scoreboard's ahead. We just need to kind of keep it ticking over. We don't need to go for the kind of big loopy passes and make the All Blacks chase the game. Often I feel like, you put that bit of extra pressure on and teams may kind of crumble. And the way the All Blacks attack was kept so quiet is a testament to the Irish defence, but also, where was that All Blacks team that scored kind of 3 tries in 10 minutes last week? They just weren't able to get their attack going. The Irish attack was just kind of eating it. Ioane was loving it. He was loving it. He was absolutely pumped, and I don't blame him. I mean, key moments, right? Reece, to be fair, did manage to kind of keep a Sexton touch finder infield, which is a bit of slick play. But then in the reversal, like when Jordie Barrett finally gets a line break, Doris somehow ankle taps him, like just gets fingertips to his foot, kind of downs him. Bauer then gets a line break like a phase later, and Gibson-Park's able to like win a turnover. So it's just kind of the whole team standing up. Ioane, speaking of that guy, manages to kick a bloody 50-22 when the All Blacks coughed the pill up. Like, unbelievable stuff, although the All Blacks did manage to steal the resulting line out. But still, man, just, one of those days. Sowakula, when he comes on, can't take a wide ball from Mo'unga. The All Blacks are kind of having to force their passes. Chasing the game, man, does funny things to teams, and the pressure was just kind of getting to them. Taukei'aho gets held up. They tap and they go again. Fakatava gets held up. I think Taukei'aho got held up like twice, right? But they just couldn't break the Irish defence down. They did eventually, like it's too little too late. 77 minutes, Will Jordan, that guy pretty much always ends up scoring a try, at least one. So he finally gets one out wide when the All Blacks finally managed to get some quick ball. But like I said, too little too late, man. So, the game kind of winds down, and eventually Joey Carberry is able to kick it out for the first Irish win in New Zealand, man. I mean, congratulations. That's quite an achievement. Red card or no red card, that was a pretty bloody good performance. Like I said, they scored the Porter try when it was 14-14. They were ahead before the red card. So, yeah, man, I wouldn't be looking for excuses. Ardie Savea didn't come back on, but again, like I said, Ireland were a pretty bloody good team today, you'd have to say it. I mean, clean breaks finished 2-3 with Ireland edging that. Ireland do cough up a bit more pill, which I think is probably partly in that phase when they had the extra man and were maybe not quite, I don't want to say handling the pressure, but they weren't quite able to execute as they would have liked. They win more turnovers, 6-4. Penalty count finishes 14 conceded apiece, so that's even. But the cards, obviously, the All Blacks dominated that area. The territory one's brutal as well, 63-37. Ireland able to really control where the game was played. The position's kind of more even. Tyburn, he's maybe not going to get the plaudits, I'm not sure, but I mean, he carries 6 times, he gets almost 40 metres, he beats 3 defenders, he tackles 14 from 14 times. The guy was a unit. I mean, Sexton gets the try assist, he gets 30 metres from like 2 carries. He just orchestrates that Irish attack pretty well. Cool head, kicks his penalties, and just keeps the scoreboard ticking away from the All Blacks guys. So, the All Blacks front row, every one of them missed 2 tackles, which is a bit uncharacteristic. Only Taukei'aho of all the All Blacks forwards managed to crack 20 run meters, which is, again, unusual, although Savea would normally do it if he'd played 80 minutes. But, there you go, folks. 23 points to 12. Well done to this Irish team. That's quite an achievement. And the series is alive. So we get a deciding match, which is the ultimate, isn't it, when you watch a 3-match series. But, you guys let me know your thoughts. What do you reckon about this All Blacks performance? What do you reckon about this Irish performance? How much pressure is on Fozzie after this one? He was sitting pretty after last week's big win. And then Andy Farrell, who just a cool customer, didn't really make wholesale changes. Brought in Mac Hansen from the starting 15 from place of Earls, pretty much it. Didn't make wholesale changes. Backed his boys to improve after being a bit disappointing last week. They did it. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.